Welcome back to Girl Take the Lead, the podcast where we explore the real, raw, and remarkable stories of people breaking cycles, finding their voice, and leading with courage. And I'm your host, Yo Canny. If you're listening to this during the holiday season, when joy and grief often sit side by side, when traditions can feel comforting and heavy at the same time, and when memories of those we miss show up without warning, today's conversation is arriving right on time. I'm honored to welcome Becky Faye Smith Galli, author, columnist, and radiant storyteller who writes about love, loss, and healing. Becky's life has taken her down many unchosen paths. The loss of her brother and son, parenting a daughter with autism, divorce, and then paralysis just 9 days later. And yet, through it all, Becky has chosen to live fully, not perfectly, but honestly, creatively, and with hope. Her book, Morning Fuel, is like a daily companion, reminding us that life still can be good, even when it doesn't go the way we planned. In this conversation, Becky shares some of the most meaningful reflections from her writing, including the beloved Milkshake Method, insights about coping patterns on unchosen paths, practicing gratitude when life feels very heavy, and finding beauty in what's broken. And then she offers us a gift, a reading called A Single Candle, a powerful reflection on love, grief, and the light that remains, especially during the holidays. This episode is tender, grounding, and deeply human. It's one you may want to return to, like a candle you relight when the days feel dark. Let's jump in, and here you go. Becky, welcome to Girl Take the Lead.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here today.
Yeah, we're going to have so much fun talking about your book. I can't wait to get into it. But why don't we start first if you would introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners?
Sure. Thank you for the opportunity. So I am Rebecca Faye Smith Galli, but my friends call me Becky. So I'm glad to hear you call me that initially.
Yeah.
I am a writer and author and columnist who writes about love, loss, and healing.
Mm.
And I've had some experience with those three things. I lost my 17-year-old brother when I was 20, my son from a degenerative disease when he was 15. Have a daughter with autism that's severely affected by that. Am divorced, and 9 days after my divorce was final, I became paralyzed by transverse myelitis, which is a rare inflammation of the spinal cord that affects 1 in a million. So life has been adventurous, to say the least, and I've tried to take what's happened to me and learn from it, and a writing career developed from it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Well,
glad to share with you what I've learned.
I mentioned this to you before. The book we're going to talk about, Morning Fuel, seems to kind of be a daily friend, telling us it's okay. We're going to get through this. And you've had certainly your share of things to get through. So thank you for doing your writing and channeling that energy so positively.
I was very fortunate. I had one of the writing instructors I had many years ago said, if you're going to keep writing, you need to know why you write. And that was really interesting to have that question posed. And I thought about it, and it's like, what do I believe? I believe life can be good no matter what. And I've had a lot of what, right? I've had a lot of what. But I think I write to remind myself of that because so often it's easy for that premise to slip
Mhm.
and we don't remember that it can be good, but the can is the important part. It takes some effort sometimes to look for that positive.
Mhm.
So I'm glad Morning Fuel radiates that because that's what I've learned. You have to
Yeah.
look for it, practice it.
Well, I think it flows very nicely for us to talk about um one of the things that you wrote about your dad and milkshakes. That's such a great example of what you just said.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to have the positive parents I did, and I didn't really realize it until, you write the first book was out there, and when you start talking about some of the escapades that you go through, and my parents were just geared that way, so I was really fortunate to be brought up in that environment. But yes, his the illustration for my I call it the milkshake method, the one that I wrote about, and I think you wanted me to read that,
Yes,
did you?
please. Do you mind reading that for us?
Yes. Okay, the milkshake method. I wrote this and I sometimes I strategically put um, writings on particular days. And so this is August 26th, which is my father's birthday.
Oh.
It was 9:15 on a Saturday night. I knew if I wanted to talk to mom and dad, I needed to make my call right then or I would not make their bedtime curfew. They asked about my dinner party that was in progress. How's so and so? They asked. Tell her I said hello. They love to pluck into my world. And how's your ice cream? Dad inquired next. During their last visit, I had purchased an ice cream maker and we had made some delicious ice cream together. Well, I began, I don't know what I've done wrong, but it's been churning for 3.5 hours and it's still soup. Without skipping a beat, he said, you can always serve milkshakes. I had to laugh and shake my head. Milkshakes indeed. He didn't ask if I'd used enough ice. He didn't ask if I'd changed the recipe. He didn't ask if I'd used the right rock salt. He just made a helpful suggestion of how to use what I had to its best advantage. That was his gift, to see the possibilities, to assess right then and there whatever was at hand and issue a person, a situation, and find a positive spin. Even though a critique may be in order, moving forward with a constructive approach was always Dad's lead. It was almost an automatic response with him. If you watched him carefully, you could almost see the shifting and sorting in his steady sea blue gaze as he allowed only the most positive of possibilities to float to the top of his mind.
Oh.
Seek the possibilities within the parameters of the present. Dad taught me with his milkshake method of looking at life.
Mm.
And then I have a couple reflection questions that I like. How about you? How could you use the milkshake method for dealing with a disappointing situation?
Oh. I'm gonna cry for a minute. It's, I guess, because your dad just is so present for you still, isn't he? I mean, is this your favorite one? I know you shouldn't have a favorite in your book, but is this kind of your favorite date?
It is because he taught me so much. And he died at age 72. He and mom both, 2 years apart, but a very young age, relatively speaking,
Yes.
as that's looking closer and closer for me. But his you don't realize the wisdom that's around you sometimes until it's gone, number one, and number two, you live enough life to realize, that those were real truisms that held. Um, and that's I was such a gift to get
Mhm.
from him,
Yeah.
and I'm glad to share it.
And you've done a
Mm.
blog, I think, on that in one of your newsletters too. We'll make sure we put those into the show notes so people can see that you're writing there too. Because I think, um, gosh, couldn't we? Your dad's inspiring all of us who are listening. So thanks,
Oh,
Dad.
he would love it. That would bring
Thanks,
him
Becky's
joy.
dad. Oh, so on February 12th, you wrote about unchosen paths.
Yes,
And that's really about coping with loss. Yeah.
very much so.
And do you mind doing another little reading for us on that?
No, happy to. This is a tough one. On February 12th, 1997, 9 days after my divorce became final, I awakened in the early morning hours with a dull ache in my lower back. Then strange shooting sensations ripped through my legs, firing like electrical currents. Within 6 hours, the jagged bolts of pain had twisted their way up to my waist, permanently relaxing every muscle along the way. In the intensive care unit, I fought the pain with a morphine drip. I said to my father, "It's going to be okay, Dad. I know it's going to be okay. I've been in the wilderness before. Fact is, I've been here so many times. I have paths down here." I managed to smile as the drugs lifted hope above the haze of the grim reality. Paths in the wilderness, I've learned to seek them out as I've dealt with the difficulties that have come my way. I sought them in my 20s when my 17-year-old brother died in a water skiing accident.
Mhm.
I sought them in my 30s when I became the mother of 4 children, 2 of whom had special needs: cerebral palsy, epilepsy, and autism. And now that divorce and paralysis had been added to the pictures, it was time to seek them again. Unwillingly, I'd become a veteran of unchosen paths. Unchosen or not, we all have paths in our wildernesses created by our patterns of coping. Once we figure out what those patterns are, it's easier to be patient with ourselves as we move through our next steps. For me, I know I'm a process thinker. I need a lot of time to make decisions, often see too many possibilities, and have a hard time accepting good enough.
Mhm.
I also know I'm a fighter. I don't like to lose and take a long time to give up unrealistic hope. To stay strong, I need to feel connected, supported, and find a way to speak my mind when it hurts. Although paralysis has taken so much from me, each year on this day, I remember the horror of the paralysis onset, how the ripples of its wake changed my life and those of others who care about me. Then I ask myself, what can't it take from me? It can't take my ability to love, my capacity to grow, my willingness to learn and problem solve. It may limit me, but it can't limit my ability to manage, to focus, to accept what I can't change, and get on with rethinking what's possible, despite paralysis. Strengthened by what I still have and still can still do, I keep moving on that unchosen path. And my question, how about you? What are your patterns of coping on unchosen paths?
I think that's such a marvelous question. When you were reading, I was trying to think like I probably go right into action. Like when my dad passed a few years ago, I went into the businesswoman. So it was like, okay, how many death certificates do we need? Who do I need to call about for the Neptune Society? Where is this? Where is that? What else do we need? I mean, it was like check, 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 check. It took me probably a month before I could get in touch with feeling. So I think that's what you're asking us, right? Like, where is it we go when we're put in these situations of grief or loss? And what do we see there in terms of patterns?
I think that yes, that's it. I think I call it like the business of death. I mean, there's a business piece of death that just has to get done, and kicking into action there I think is a it's almost like a reflex for a lot of us. Some are so stunned they can't do anything and they have to rely on other people to do those, and some of us are those and some of us
Mhm.
aren't. And um, but there, but the fact that you know your patterns can bring comfort if you're frustrated, particularly.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't I deal with the feelings earlier? Well, it wasn't your time. That's not how you do it. You have to wait for those feelings to bubble up because it's real. And the more I talk a lot about holding things lightly, things that we want to happen so quickly and intensely. If we can relax a little and let our patterns do their thing. Um, but sometimes if you aren't aware of them, you don't know to trust them.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. Or to change them, right?
Yes.
You have, like, knowing me now, I would probably give myself more time, um, have somebody less, somebody not as close to the situation handle some of the business aspects of things. It doesn't all need to come from me. Um, and oh, this is my listeners are used to me like getting emotional and crying, but February 12th is such a big day in our life, in my family. My sister was born on that day. My great grandmother was born on that day. And my mother in law was born on that day.
Wow.
So I kind of just visualized all this energy around you for that day.
Oh, I'll take it.
Got lots and lots of energy around that day. It's a big day.
Oh,
So,
great.
anyway, I wanted to share that with you. Lots of love on that day. Lots and lots of love.
Thank you.
Um, I know. Can we do one more one more
Oh,
reading?
absolutely. I am
How
prepared.
about April 11th? Practicing gratitude.
Oh yeah. That's a good uplifting one.
After we've
Yeah,
it's so
and
true.
it's a coping technique and it has become a pattern. So there we go.
There we go. I love it. Let's go, Becky.
Practicing gratitude. Shifting into a gratitude gear is the quickest way I know how to nip a pity party right in the bud. When I'm feeling down, I try to think of three things that I'm grateful for. It can be as simple as a good night's sleep, a cloudless sky, or the fact that I got the trash out on time. I often keep a running list of things I'm grateful for on my bedside table. Sometimes I add to it in the morning and review it right before I go to bed. I've noticed that when I appreciate the small things, it helps shift my perspective on whatever negative issue I'm grappling with, making it seem much less daunting than it did before.
Mm.
As Brene Brown reminds us, I don't have to chase extraordinary moments to find happiness. It's right in front of me if I'm paying attention and practicing gratitude. And then my question is, how about you? What three things are you grateful for today?
Mm. Well, I'm grateful that you're on our show.
Me too.
Woohoo! Love that. I'm grateful that I have such great viewers and listeners who really keep me going. And I'm just grateful that, like, when I look outside right now, I can see a bird feeder and there's birds and they're pretty flowers. Those are my three things. How about you? Do you have something for today?
Well, I will say, and this is on my repetitive list because I'm grateful for it every morning. My wheelchair, I'm in a power wheelchair now, and it charged 100%. So that little thing, it's a great way to start off. And we had a real gentle rain last night, not a
Mm,
downpour or a gully washer, but it was just enough to water some new uh, trees I had planted. So I was really one last thing I gotta make sure gets watered.
mhm.
And yeah, oh yeah, I had a friend this morning come by and bring me a Starbucks cold brew. And so that's my favorite. Yes. So it's been a good morning.
I love it. It is so true though. When we concentrate on these little things that just bring us such joy, I mean, a lot of times we can just be in the do mode and not take a moment and go, you know, like right now it's very quiet in the house. I'm recording. Everybody's silent. And it's like beautiful.
And I think that nature does that for me so easily. I
Mhm.
try to keep little planters outside the house and something blooming.
Yeah.
And every morning I do a snap with my sister where we'll take a picture of something that's going on in our yards. And it's just refreshing. I think there's something so steadfast and persistent about nature that it just comes through. And so it's a really easy way for me to remind myself, there's seasons, right?
Yeah.
Things come and go, but it persists. Nature persists, and I get a lot of motivation for my yard.
Mm. Well, I know we're putting this up the holidays. Um, is there something that you would say going into 2026 you would hope for?
So many things. I think hmm, there's so many things that are broken right now, and I think that I look for the brokenness as a way to explore what matters most in
Mm,
in our daily living, in our community living, in our world living, and lean into those things that helps us get to know one another better.
mhm,
I think so often we get segmented, and there's a lot of commonality that gets overlooked.
mhm, mm. I know that because you're a fellow crafter, you wrote about beauty in what's broken,
Yes.
and it fits to what you've just said. On September
Amen.
21, do you think you could read that? And I know we'd all love to hear about your hobby, and it would just be so great. We could end about right there.
Sure. Um, it's called Beauty in What's Broken. The treasured mirror hangs in my bathroom. My hall bath illustrates one of my favorite sayings from my father. Some things may be broken beyond repair, but not beyond some use.
Mhm,
Broken dishes, pottery, jewelry, and other keepsake baubles adorn this mirror's thick frame. My friend Beth taught me the technique of arranging and gluing each layer of the masterpiece and then faithfully popped by to check in on my progress. What about these jagged edges? I asked her after the first layer of dishes. You can see the mirror frame through the cracks. Don't worry about those, she told me. We'll cover them with filler. The filler, I discovered, was a mixture of tiny, colorful beads that would be glued between the broken edges, knitting my shards and remnants of memories into a surprising work of beauty.
Mm.
But it wasn't a quick transformation. The craft took days between each layer. Yet I found the process therapeutic. At the time, I was writing my memoir about adapting to life after significant loss. So, both in word and deed, I was pulling together broken pieces and precious memories into a lasting work of art.
Mhm.
Each process seemed to fuel the other. The filler proved to be the messiest step. Despite fresh glue and careful application, the beads scattered everywhere. Yep, just part of the process, Beth told me. Paper plates beneath the frame will help. Reuse what you can. Always, I said, smiling back to my friend. Always.
Mm. Love that.
And the question, how about you? Have you ever found another use for or even beauty in something broken?
Mm. This idea that you did with the broken pieces and making it into art was just lovely. I got to work on the broken things. One thing I do, I will take um, shoes that that are no longer used, so we could say that they're broken, and I put succulents in them.
Oh my goodness. How fun is that?
Or pots that have broken in the backyard. I'll structure them in a different way and have the succulents coming from the pots.
Oh, love that.
Yeah. So I guess I can join your club.
Sure.
Something that's broken.
Well, it
Nicely
makes
done.
when you break a dish, just have a pile like here's the broken dish pile, so it gets reused. And I've sorted it's a really kind of therapeutic take. You'll take the dishes and you put them in a sack and you whack them with a hammer to get them small
Broken.
enough to
Yeah.
make fit on the mirror edge, and that can be very therapeutic too. Give that a good whack.
I love that, Becky. Just get those frustrations out. Well, I like to, I know because we're at the holiday time, and I definitely hope that um, our listeners will see your book as a possibility for gifts for people that they love. There's so many inspiring points that you're making in the book. And holidays do have a remind us of losses that we've had. So I think that be perfect timing. Um, and I'd love for you to read the entry you have on December 24th, a single candle,
Yes,
and we'll end there.
thank you. Although I can't find a source to credit, these words have helped guide me through more than one holiday season. Love is like a candle shining in a dark place. Those words touch a special place in my heart. For me, Christmas is all about love. It's about sharing gifts and times and creating experiences and memories that have the capacity to last a lifetime. It's often a joyous season. Some of us will welcome new family members to our tradition. Others of us will creatively modify our traditions to accommodate changes within our family. Yet it can also be a season of longing and hurt for those of us who must rework all traditions because we've lost someone dear to us. Despite our best efforts, grief, that strange companion, reminds us of the love we have lost. Yet the candle shines on. Love can pierce through the darkness. Through the years, I've learned that when I can focus on the light instead of the dark, it's a little easier to navigate the holidays. The love of those who have passed, my parents, my brother, my son, all those memories shine brighter when I focus on the good things that they taught me and the meaningful experiences we shared. The love I still feel for them still burns brightly.
Mm.
Anne Frank may have said it best. Look at how a single candle can both defy and define the darkness. This season, light a candle and place it somewhere prominent. Shine on, candle of love. Illuminate for all the best the season of love has to offer. How about you? Could your holidays be enriched by the lighting of a single candle?
Mm. Well, I'm definitely going to do that. I think invite our listeners to send us pictures of
Oh,
their candles. Oh, that would be so awesome. Ah,
yeah.
can't wait for that. So, Becky, where can our viewers and listeners find you and follow you and get your book?
Oh, thank you for asking. It's pretty easy. It's beckygalli.com, BECKYGALLI.com. And there you can sign up for my Thoughtful Thursday newsletter that I write whenever I've got something to say. And then my books are available wherever books are sold, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, independent bookstores. Links are on my website as well. You can go directly there. I'm all on social media, Instagram, X, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn. All those links are on my website as well, BECKYGALLI. So I hope to see you there. Please tell me when you that you came through Yolanda. I would love that. I would love to know who signs up for that. And please stay in touch.
We talked about morning fuel, but we didn't talk about rethinking possible. Do you want to say a few things about that book?
Sure. So that was my first book. It's a memoir. It's pretty much the whole life story. There's a lot of love, a lot of loss, a lot of healing in that. And sometimes people ask me, what's it about? And I say it's about living fully in the life you didn't plan. And
Mm.
I'm all about living fully, despite limitations, despite loss. And so that's really the life story is in that. And then Morning Fuel is a daily reader that I designed to inspire, encourage, or make you think. So it was that's the lens I look through when I pick these little stories. Many of them are mine, some of my father's, obviously, and my mother, and it seems like wisdom was all around me. So I just grabbed it, put a story to it, and a little lesson. And that's what that book's about.
Great. So, Becky, what would you tell your 20 something self today?
um, 20 something. I was right when I lost my brother. So I had to revisit that age quite a bit. I think I tended to worry and stress a lot, and like I said before about holding things lightly, to trust more and worry less.
Mm.
That things can be good and it doesn't have to be perfect. There's a value in working toward the good and enjoying that good. Um, I think perfection seems like it's very attainable when you're younger, and um, if we can't hit it, to tell that younger self, it's all right.
It's all
You're going to
right.
be all right.
Cool. Very, very good. Did you get a chance to go to our online store and pick something? Or
I
would
did, and it's so interesting that you called morning fuel of like a friend in the morning, because the one I picked is the friendship picture.
yes.
Um, Friendship is one of the most satisfying things in the world by E.B. White, and I love Charlotte's Web.
Uh-huh.
And what I loved about this picture was the different kinds of flowers that were on there, and they reminded me of my many different kinds of friends. I've got friends that I've known since third grade that are
Oh,
still on my blog list, and I've got friends that met 6 weeks ago, and they're very different and all help stretch me in different ways. And I valued friendship so much. So
yeah.
that's the one I picked.
Oh, I love it. I can't wait to send it to you. It's one of my faves too. It's so pretty. Those flowers are just so fun to make.
Yeah,
And
gorgeous.
yeah, thank you. So thank you so much for joining us and shining your light and your candle on our podcast. So appreciate you.
Oh, I appreciate you too. I just want to say your voice is so soothing and calming and welcoming, and I just really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks, Becky, very much. Blessings. What a beautiful, heartfelt conversation with Becky, a woman who has met life's hardest moments with honesty, creativity, and remarkable grace. Becky reminds us that while we don't get to choose many of the paths we walk, we do get to choose how we move through them. Through her stories, like the Milkshake Method, to unchosen paths, to gratitude practices, to crafting beauty from broken pieces, she shows us what it looks like to live fully despite loss. And her reflection, a single candle, feels especially important during the holidays. A reminder that love doesn't disappear when someone is gone. That memory can be a source of light, and that sometimes the smallest ritual can help us find a way. If you'd like to connect with Becky, check the show notes. Got lots of ways for you to find her book and to check in with her. Here are 3 gentle takeaways from today's episode. 1, life can still be good, even when it's not the life you planned. Good doesn't mean perfect, it means meaningful, honest, and lived with intention. 2, your coping patterns deserve compassion, not judgment. Understanding how you move through grief helps you trust yourself more, not less. And 3, light matters, especially in dark seasons. Sometimes all it takes is a single candle, a small practice, or a moment of gratitude to shift the way forward. As always, thank you for listening, for sharing these conversations, and being part of a community that leads with heart and humanity. Next week, we'll close out 2025 with a very special guest, Laura Paddock, entrepreneur, former global corporate executive, and author of Stories with Purpose. Laura's lived and worked in 7 countries, across 5 continents, leading major transformations in sales, operations, and product innovation. Her superpower is creative storytelling, though, and her ability to connect through vulnerability and authenticity. She'll join us to reflect on leadership, lived experience, and the power of owning your story as we head into the new year. Until then, take care of your heart, my friends. Light your candle when you need it. And remember, we got this. Talk to you soon. Bye.